Hey guys, what's up? Power Up Boxing here, and it's been a while. I've been busy, but we all know the big news that's been happening lately in the boxing world. One of the biggest moments in my life is going to take place May 2nd, and probably yours lives too. May 2nd, Cinco de Mayo weekend, the Mexican holiday, this May 2015. The showdown that's been over 5 years in the making. It's finally happening. It's official. Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. It's hard to believe it's here already, and I'm always excited. I'm a Pacquiao fan. I'm always excited for Pacquiao's fights, and I always get pumped up. But this is just gonna be like the fight night, the energy on fight night is going to be just spectacular. And the fight is actually only a couple months away. It's February, almost the end of February, March, April. So pretty much 2 months, 8 weeks, pretty much 8 weeks before the fight. Obviously, it's a little more, but it's approaching, and it's hard to believe it's here, but I can't wait for this fight. I predicted the fight was going to happen, and the reason why I thought the fight was going to happen was I was losing a little hope, but I still thought it was going to happen. But the turning point for me to convince me to make a prediction that the fight was going to happen next for both fighters, not necessarily May 2, but it was going to happen for both fighters, was the meeting they had at the Miami Heat game in Miami. And that basketball game where they were both courtside. It was obviously planned, I think, but that was the turning point when they both met in person for the very first time and started talking to each other at the halftime and exchanging phone numbers. And then the conversation, the hour-long conversation that took place in Pacquiao's hotel, face-to-face, Pacquiao and Mayweather had a conversation with Pacquiao's manager and stuff. So that was the turning point, and that convinced me the fight was going to happen. But before that even happened, there was just, like I said, the pressure on Floyd for him losing Showtime money for fighting Marcus Maidana twice, losing like millions of dollars for fighting that. And not only that, though, I think Mayweather realizes he's not going to make 120 million fighting any Joe Blow. Sure, he might make 32 mil fighting anybody. He will. But he will definitely not make 120 million, because it's speculated that he's going to make at least 120 million guaranteed, and Pacquiao's going to make 80 million. So for Mayweather to make 120 million, he would have to fight a couple opponents to make that kind of money. So why not? He's on his way out. He's got 2 more fights left on his contract. Why not end it with making 120 million? So for me, I thought the fight was going to happen because there's just too much money involved, and I think Floyd Mayweather was the determining factor to make the fight happen. If he didn't want it, the fight wasn't going to happen. It takes 2 to fight, and the fact that there was that much money on the table, I don't think Mayweather was going to be like he had to take that kind of money. And I think he made the calculated risk to take the fight because he knew he was at the end of the road of his career anyway. Why not make 120 million? And maybe the money kind of overshadowed his afraid of losing. Maybe there was so much money involved, he forgot about the fear of losing and just said, I'm just going to make this fight happen. And there is a rematch clause, though, so Floyd Mayweather has 2 more fights left in his contract, and I think that's why there's 2 more fights. So the next fight could be a rematch, but that's pretty much the determining factor for me to predict the fight was going to happen. Was the meeting at the Miami Heat game, the basketball game. That was the turning point. And the fact that there was just so much money involved, the fight had to be made. And that's why I always kept hope that the fight was going to happen. But now we get to see the fight happen. It's going to be the biggest event in sports history. One of the biggest nights of a lot of your lives. My life is going to be the one of the night of the fight is just going to be crazy. And I'm 100% confident Pacquiao is going to come out with the win. I'll go into more detail on that in other videos, but it's going to be a good night and can't wait. May 2nd, Pacquiao versus Mayweather. See you guys on that night.